everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video, or welcome to my channel if this is your first video. Please do subscribe if you like what you're hearing, or if you can relate to anything I'm saying. So to explain that, I just uploaded a previous video that was pretty negative about K-pop and as to why I fell out of love with K-pop basically. And I figured it would be a good idea to also explain as to why I'm still staying in K-pop and why I'm staying in K-tube. Because at the moment I feel like K-pop has still so much more to offer than what people make it out to be on social media. And I feel like it's pretty easy to get washed away in the floods of negativity and toxicity about K-pop right now. And I feel that we need to tackle that because there is also so much niceness going on. There is so much inspiration and also kindness going on. So hopefully you're going to catch on to my vibes because I'm here to stay. I'm here to have a good time and hopefully have a good time with you guys. So the first thing that worked for me was just finding the right friend group to begin with, because I noticed that just cutting out all social media and all toxicity from your life and then just being alone in your bedroom and really enjoying music can be fulfilling, but I also would emphasize that it feels lonely at some point, because is there not a greater feeling than being able to share the things that you love together with people that you love? And as personally for me, my friends know who they are, so shout out to you. I love you guys so much. You guys are literally my pride and joy, and I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be more proud, and I couldn't be more thankful to have you guys in my life. It's really great to talk to other regular friends, but also K-tube friends. And yeah, I'm just so blessed. Thank you all so much. And as I was talking about a bit earlier on, is that some people want to completely remove themselves of any form of negativity or toxicity. And I do feel that there is very smart ways to go about this. Maybe just don't tap into the K-pop space within every single social media that you own. Maybe just have an alternative Twitter account or an alternative TikTok account, or maybe just an Instagram, just any side profile, or just maybe just pick one of your main social media profiles to be your K-pop related account, I guess. So what I notice is that I'm mostly on Twitter, and I do feel that you can definitely manipulate the algorithm. You can definitely make it so that you only get, for example, food or cats, or just keep on liking and sharing the things that bring you joy. And usually on every single social media, the algorithm will automatically feed you more of that stuff. And I just would recommend to stay away from any debates or any groups that you don't vibe with within K-pop. And what's also recently helping me is to remind myself that sometimes leaving no comment is better than commenting. Just protect your peace, protect your own truth, and you don't have to engage with everything and everyone. And as for the music in general, I would really look into yourself, what type of fan am I? What do I get from music? What do I like about the idol industry? What are things that I don't like about this? What are things that don't feel right to me? Really focus and double down on what works for you as a person. Really try to maybe narrow down the things that speak to you the most, if that makes sense. And based on that, it's so much easier to find the right friend group who may share similar niche interests as you. Because I'm telling you, just being a K-pop fan for friendships often isn't enough. I feel that there's so many different styles of enjoying K-pop and consuming K-pop, and it can still be somewhat conflicting if you don't find the right people within the K-pop fandom for yourself. So a thing that personally works for me was removing my bias list. I know it sounds so crazy and people never imagined to even think of that to begin with. Trust me, I also did as well. Especially because I spent so much time to create it and perfect it and update it every single year. And it's also been such a strong part of being a K-pop fan for me for over 10 years. Or maybe even 15 years, I think. And so what sparked me to remove the bias list was mainly because I felt it became a chore, almost like a job. I know, like, please censor the word ew. And that was pretty much a cue for me that I needed to stop doing that. I also often felt really, really bad and emotional when I had to remove a group from the list or a soloist from the list. I also felt like I was often in between categories as well. Like, am I casual? Do I actually bias this group? Is this group like my alt or is it like my semi-alt? Like, what? There was like so many things that I just started to question myself for literally nothing. Like, ultimately, it's just nothing to worry about. It's just for fun. But when you're not having fun with it, like I said earlier on, you should just remove it, like, entirely. And it felt way too restrictive for me. And it felt like I was almost working a job while working on it. And I know it sounds dramatic, but that was just like my personal experience. I know like some people really love making lists for themselves, and that's great. Like, more power to you. And I noticed that when I removed my bias list, I also started to have more time to discover more groups and also look into more albums in general. I am pretty much very nosy and I like to discover every single new artist that's around. So it doesn't really matter for me. Like, even if an artist had releases prior that I just didn't really like or didn't connect with, I will always make sure that I try to check out their next comeback just in case that might be the first release that I really like. And I know you're wondering like, oh my god, SOOMI, where do you even have the time for all of this? Like, how and why and when are you checking out every single K-pop release that there is every single day or week? And that is the thing, like, I am checking like almost daily. So it's literally maybe a 10-minute task. Or if there's like really a lot, like on Mondays, for example, then I would just like take my time, like maybe like spend a whole hour after work and just process it like really slowly. It's just really good to keep up on the weekly, I'd say, because there is no way that you don't have like 1 or 2 hours to like spare in the weekends that you're maybe off of work or not having school. And for some reason, it's not tiring me out. It doesn't feel like a job yet, I think. I hope it never will. There is something so thrilling about discovering new albums and new artists for me. I feel that would never really tire me at all. But yeah, if you'd ask me to organize that amount of artists, ooh, that's really a headache. And I rather not pick favorites. I really feel that there doesn't have to always be a single best or a top 10. There is so much going on that is good, and frankly, some artists are good this year who will maybe not be as good next year. So for me, it really depends per year, and there was just like really no way that I was going to keep up that list for that reason. It worked really well in like 2nd gen or 3rd gen because groups used to be consistent and used to have like a very clear sound and identity, which is no longer the case since 4th and 5th gen from at least like what I'm experiencing. And I know that some other people have noticed that too. Although I feel that things are slightly changing again, because for me, like right now, especially after 2025, I feel 5th gen is pretty promising and that there is groups that are very stable and holding their own. And for now, seem to be pretty consistent, but yeah, only time will tell. Oh, and there's one more thing that also really helped me further enjoy music more, which is literally caring about music a bit more than I used to do. And I already have graduated from school with an art profile, so for me, when physical albums release with a fantastic photo book, that's usually something that really sparks my joy. And I feel that the photo albums in 2025 were really, really great. There weren't a lot of them, but the ones that were hitting were really hitting for me. And having learned about music genres also made me so much more confident, because I used to be very, very insecure and very shy to talk about music with actual music fans. I felt really left out and incompetent, like I didn't understand what I was actually talking about. Previously, I already graduated school with an art profile, so I'm pretty much understanding the physical media and the imagery of K-pop. I've also done ballet for 13 years, so I'm pretty familiar with dance as well. And I've also been into choirs on and off, or hobbyist singing groups as well, which really trained me vocally. And not that I'm really a good singer or anything, but it helps me to understand what the idols are going through, if that makes sense. And my final and last Achilles heel was just knowing music. And I will admit, like, I still have never learned any notes. I couldn't tell you what note someone is singing or what exact key a song is on. But in my defense, I have a really good hearing, like an almost near absolute hearing. But yeah, as for the notes and as for keys and stuff, I really couldn't tell you on paper, but I can hear them, if that makes sense. But yeah, all these things about notes and genres that just made me so scared to talk about music. I felt like I was just rambling and didn't understand what I was talking about. So I made the change. And I know pretty much a lot of genres in music that are being used in K-pop right now. And it feels so refreshing to finally recognize them and see a pattern in things. And because of this, it also made me understand so much better what genres I'm really into and what genres I often return to. And in general, it's also really interesting to look up the origin or history of a music genre, like where it came from, who were the first inspirations and stuff. I wouldn't say that I know a lot about music history, but I do feel it's important to generally know where it's coming from. So when a K-pop idol group or a K-pop soloist really appreciates and lives up to the genre in the correct ways, that is like really so satisfying. Like it's one of the best things to experience. When you finally understand that music is genuinely appreciated and not appropriated. So there's that. Enough about that kind of talk. I also want to really talk about 2025. It was a fantastic year for K-pop. I just don't understand the masses of posts on Stan Twitter or TikTok or even Reddit like, oh my god, why is K-pop falling off? Why is everything so bad? And it's because you're not enjoying music. You're not listening to music. You're not expanding beyond the top 10 popular groups and only probably their title tracks, if I'm assuming. And even to defend popular groups of last year, even they had some bangers. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what you are all complaining about, especially if we look at the debuts in 2025 alone. It's really insane. We had At Heart, Close Your Eyes, Hearts to Hearts, If I, Kiki, Yeji had a solo that was pretty good, and Kickflip, I was having a whole buffet, literally. Oh, and please let me know which rookies were your favorite last year, because we need to appreciate them more. They were getting so much hate for literally nothing. Like, how were we falling off last year? I literally don't get it. There was so much musicality in new groups. There were so many pretty interesting sounds, so many pretty interesting artworks and photo albums. So I don't know. I truly don't understand. But yeah, you guys let me know who your favorites were of last year. And also some other artists that really stood out to me were Reseen, Fantastic Run, Say My Name, again, Fantastic Run. SSERAFIM had a great moment with, what's the song? Ash. Ash was so magical, and the photo book for that album was insane. I really love it so much. And then also Eyelid was killing it as well. Fantastic concept arts, fantastic songs, no notes. And last but not least, we also had BB and NMIX. Soloist BB had so many good songs on her album. She had a full album out. I didn't really like that she was also adding like much older songs from other years, but the new material that she was putting out was just simply fantastic. It genuinely felt like I was experiencing like a movie or anime OST, and I always enjoy those imaginary visual vibes. And of course the masterpiece that was NMIX, literally being the most celebrated girl group in K-pop 2025, because they literally deserved that. They had so many good projects and their most recent album was just pure art to me. But you have to admit that there's quite a lot of all the samey groups and they really try to stand out. They really try to be their own. They have their own vibe and their own flavor. And that is a quality in K-pop recently that I really yearn for. I would like for K-pop artists to really have their own sound, and really have their own identity, have their own visual direction, if you will. just anything that has consistency, because if there's anything that was really lacking lately is that a lot of artists seem to have a fantastic budget for things, but then the next comeback it's completely switched around. Like, I feel that there is little consistency recently in K-pop, and I do feel with the rookies of 2025 that maybe we're seeing a change for once, because I feel like it's finally a bit more important to have your own identity and own sound. If you're not having an immediately recognizable core visual concept, then you're automatically out, I feel. Like, branding is so important. And I think a lot of people understand that as in a bit more parasocial, like, oh my gosh, like I can relate to them and I feel like I really get to know them. For me, I don't really buy into that. It's not really for me. I believe we do not know idols at all. I don't feel any single album per se reflects how idols feel or think. So, but yeah, that's me personally. For me, it's more in the sense of a music identity or a visual aspects identity, more like a marketing kind of thing. So yeah, that's basically what I mean. Oh, and one more final thing. In 2026, we also had a bunch of debuts. I feel that it's a bit lukewarm right now. I'm keeping my eye on Daily Direction and Latency. Both names are incredibly silly, I'll admit, but their music brings me joy. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm finally so hyped to make K-Tube and really talk about music. And I hope we all get to talk about music more often, because I feel that there is so much buzz about literally everything but the music. So if this really speaks to you, then please do subscribe. And maybe if it's not just music, feel free to let me know what other things that you like in K-pop, because I'm pretty curious to know you guys a bit more. So yeah, that was the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, just like anything to push my video into the algorithm, because I'm pretty much a flop currently, so I'm trying to rebuild my channel again. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe, please stay hydrated, know you're loved, and yeah, have a nice day. Bye!